Look what we've invested in some of these. Hello, hello.
You probably hear me
Well,
crunching now.
that's it, yeah. Stuff in your chops. Look, I gotta have a chocolate break first. It's been a busy day.
Chocolate break hasn't started yet.
Hey, I always have a break before I start. It's called breaking yourself in. We've just come up to water. Where are we, Joe? Just in here. We have a policy on our allotment that's no, you're not allowed to use a hose pipe to water. So, hence the reason we fill up the butts. I think it's because it's one of those things where you let people use hose pipe and people take advantage a little bit and end up putting sprinklers in and all sorts of stuff. So, in the effort of conserving water, I think you fill up your butts faster when you're dunking watering can.
Water bottle.
Water bottle, yeah. If you're dunking a water bottle, yeah. But if you're dunking a watering can, it fills up really quick. So if you've got two and you've got your butt spaced out, it's probably quicker than hose pipe anyway. But so you got two big ones like this, and these absolutely dump water like oh, no tomato.
There's loads of tomatoes in there now, isn't there?
Oh yeah. These are rocketing on really fast now. I've stripped all the leaves up to the first truss, which I don't know what's true and what's not true because there's lots of conflicting information. But I know a lot of people that are down as professional growers. They as soon as you see fruit starting to form, if you strip the leaves off to the first truss, obviously all the energy and all the nutrients that are coming up the stem, they go straight to the fruit. And from what I've read on most plants as well, the younger, fresher leaves that are at the top, they do most of the photosynthesis. The ones at the bottom that go a little bit older and a little bit tired, they tend to do a little bit less. So obviously, once you've picked the first truss, all that fruit off there, strip the leaves off to the next one. I mean, I don't know how true that is because I don't know. We're still early days and still learning. So what I should have done really was left some. I should have left some on and some off and seen which ones were better. But I mean, the other reason I wanted to obviously strip the leaves off the bottoms because I've got stuff growing lower down underneath. Like I've got chilies there, peppers there. So if I strip the leaves underneath, it stops them like creating shadow on there. So lets the sunlight through.
What are you planting now?
Just putting these spring onions in. Like I said, we had some onions in this exact same spot, but they got allium leaf mining a little bit. So what I've tried to do is all the ones that look like they'd been absolutely hammered by the leaf miner, I've tried to pull all of them out so the grub doesn't end up in the soil. 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the grub don't end up in the soil, stay in the soil and then come back out. I've tried to take them out and I've put them all in the burn bin basically. So, well, like I said, there's squash here. I can't remember what these were. Oh yeah, butternut. There's 4 butternut squash there, so they're going to literally just go flipping. Or I'll probably try and train them so that they just go along the path and leave the space. They leave that bit of space there, and then obviously the beans will come up. We can pick the beans from this side, and then yeah. I like spring onions. Spring onions I think are a really good one. So like, say you've got a bed that's ready and a bed that's ready, and you've got like a little bit of spaces in the corner, so just bang a couple around the edges. They're really good gap fillers, I think. You know, so these have been meaning to go in for ages. I mean, you see the roots in the bottom of there. Look how they're all curled up in the bottom. But basically, so I've got just like a little clump. I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 in that clump there, and just literally put a little dip.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Bird fall out the tree.
Probably a branch just fell off. But yeah, basically, full on Charles Dowding style. Just push them in like that. Little clump. These have been in a bit long. Roots are everywhere. Make sure they're good. Push them in a little bit deep. See, you can tell they've been in. Look, he's growing out of this one into the other tray. Look at him. I mean, I'll always as well. I say always. I always like to have some extra ones standing by. So like I've sown some more of these. I'll put these ones in, and I've already got some sown that are just starting to come up. So obviously once these come out, I'll have another lot go in. Once they grow up a little bit, I'll sow some more. And I always have a little tray of these because obviously, if you think like I've got a broad bean bed there. In a month's time, all them broad beans will be gone. All them broad beans will be gone. Those peas will be coming out. Those all the garlic along there, they're pretty much ready to harvest. They'll be coming out. All this beetroot's nearly ready to harvest, so that'll come out. So you look at all the space that you've got left then to put something in. Now is a good time to make sure you've got some stuff to kind of follow on. So I've got some, I think, purple sprouting broccoli in there, some kale that I'm going to sow, some more lettuce that we're going to sow. What was the other thing we was going to do? Obviously, like French beans are really good, like especially dwarf ones because they take up quite a lot of space. They don't take up very much space, should I say. You can have like, I've got these runner beans in here. You could plant like a succession of runner beans. So you've got some runner beans that you've put in, like these ones in. And when you sow, if you sow some runner beans and then say a month later sow another set, and then a month later sow another set, if you really like, runner beans, you can, instead of having all your runner beans coming at once, you can have some, and then once you've harvested all of them, then you'll have another plant coming on.
Why is that one going so big and the other ones aren't? Did you put them in after?
Yeah, well, basically I saved some seed from last year, which obviously I had a couple of runner beans that I let dry on the plant, and I dried them out in the greenhouse. But some of them, they almost got like a little bit of mold on them. Greenhouse was a little bit humid. I think it wasn't the best place for drying them out, to be honest. But at the time, it was the only space that I had. So when I used the seed, then, which is what I did here, I planted them in the ground. The germination wasn't very good, so whether I didn't dry them out very good, or I don't know. I've never saved runner bean seeds before, so I'm not too sure what went wrong with them. But basically, the germination was crap. That one germinated, so I left it in, and then I got some shop bought seed, started them off, and then obviously once they was at a height to go in, I planted them in just to fill the space. So I'm making some stakes because I've got some, I think they're oxeye daisies in the border down there, and I've got some asters, which was gifted to me by one of the other guys who's got a plot down here. He's like a bit of a flower guru. He's got 3 plots full of flowers basically, and yeah, it's like a little bit of a hobby of his. But he gave me some daisies, and he gave me some asters like last year, and then now they grow up quite tall, and they're all right as long as we don't get the weather. But when we get loads of rain, sometimes they all flop over. So I'm just going to stick a little stake down the middle of them, and then band them with a little bit of string, just to try and keep them up. So when they do start flowering, they're not all lying on the floor. Basically, that's my thoughts anyway.
What?
That's my thoughts anyway.
I thought you said you lost your thoughts. I
lose them all the time.
Well, that's what I thought. So.
Shall I show you my carrot tubs? Because I thought
Are you going to show us what you're doing with that?
I know, yeah, but I'm a tangent going on, and I've just walked past and seen it, and I thought, all right, we'll come back to flower tub. I could do with that. Oh my god, it's such a scatty video. So we're doing some filming and we're making some videos, yeah. Just it's by no means a tutorial because we're still on the learning curve ourselves, but it's
Yeah, but you've learned a lot.
Yeah, I've learned quite a bit, yeah, and I can obviously give you the benefit of some of the mistakes and stuff that I've made, but it's more of a trying to do a little bit of inspiration for people more than anything else, especially kids, because I would quite like to do some little easy grow along videos. It's probably going to have to be next season now when once all my plots and everything finished, kind of guided towards getting kids growing some stuff, because let's be honest, kids eat enough crap these days. I need a little bit of an helping hand, and I just think if they grow their own, they're going to be a lot more inclined to want to eat. So
Well, yeah. Well, we took the berries back, didn't we, yesterday? And we took the berries back yesterday, and they wanted to eat them straight away, didn't
yeah. Well, berries are a good one because obviously they're sweet, aren't they? So that's always a. Does that look quite subtle?
Likes
That
beetroot as well.
but yeah, apparently it's his favourite vegetable. Who knew? So yeah, what I'm going to do is, you see, obviously these grow up like quite tall. Yeah, starting to flower. That one is already. And sometimes, yeah, like there's a classic because that's what it's doing there. See here, and obviously all the weather's got on it. You know, might even had a fox in there or whatever, but they're all flopping down. I think those are asters, and those are the daisies, and the daisies are a bit more floppy. The asters tend to stand up like quite good and straight. But basically, I'm going to drive a little stake in there, and this is just some hazel that I cut down from my sister's farm last year before. Basically, just cut some rods out, just copy some rods out, and the good thing about these is they blend in quite nice. And because obviously you don't want to have flowers there and have like a big dirty stick that you can see, do you? So my idea is if I can just blend them into the things grow around it, put a little bit of this jute string or whatever it's called around it. Hopefully it'll hold it together in a nice little bunch. Still let it move around and be quite natural, and then look quite clean. But you want to see the most drastic scissors in the world's ever seen? This is me scissors. Bloody hell, didn't even cut it. Oh, I did. Yeah, so this is normally what I do if I'm going round a steak. I just get a bit bigger. Fingers are big and fat. Need a bigger loop these days. But yeah, normally what I do is I just make a loop like that, and then I get the loop and I pull the string inside, so it's like a little slip knot like that. And I'll just obviously just drop it over the top, cinch it down like that, and then that's it. And then I can just obviously go round. Got all sorts growing in here. Get out. Pushing back through the fence. Yeah, obviously go around just like that. And the good thing about this string as well, it's compostable. So this is why I like using this one, especially for stuff like this where it's just only going to be tied in for a year. Normally I'd have a pair of scissors and I'd trim the excess string off as well, but I'm going to have to come back and do that, I think. Or just say sod it, just poke it in there like that. So obviously once these start growing a little bit and all these leaves come over the side, that you won't even see that stick hopefully. So
You can barely see it anyway, really.
yeah, well. How's that? Looks like a right flipping mess. Hopefully,
I should probably.
well, it'll sort itself out. Hopefully, once it's now it's all held up, it should straighten itself out a little bit. Or right, doubles up as a coffee table as well. Quality. Yeah. Right, so I've done these carrot buckets, and like I grew some in the ground last year. Some did better than others. The ones that are covered over did obviously a better, because I think because this is quite an established allotment. I think there's quite a bit of carrot root fly, but obviously, well, I'd say obviously, it's only obvious if you know, but carrot root fly allegedly can only fly so high above the ground. I think they say if you're over 2 foot, you sound it can't fly. Obviously, it doesn't fly up that high to actually get to it. So obviously, growing in a tub is actually quite beneficial for that score. So what I've done is this year, instead of growing, well, I have grown some. I've got some in the ground, but I've trialed this method. Basically, I had these big tubs, and I had a blueberry bush in there that all of a sudden decided to peg it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that
When
was
it
the
looked,
best one
yeah,
last
it
year.
looked like it was the best one. He just, I
Well,
don't
last
know.
year it was.
He was a bit temperamental, and he just all of a sudden got loads of flowers, got loads of looked like he had fruit, and then died.
Mm.
So I don't know whether I didn't prune enough off, and it was working too hard, or I had like a mini greenhouse put inside there, whether it was shading it a bit, I don't know. But I've got these, so I've got these tubs left over. So what I've done with the tubs that had nothing in is I've got some recycled compost. I added a little bit of sand and a little bit of topsoil to do 3/4. Show the way. Wait, there it. So I filled it up to sort of here, and then the top couple of inches, I'll just put a couple of good handfuls of just some multi-purpose compost on there. And what I've done is, because carrot seeds, if they dry out, they don't germinate, basically. So the beauty of doing it like this is, I've filled it up with soil. I've obviously got some good drainage holes in the bottom. I've filled it up with like bulk material, basically compost that's like not the most nutritious, because carrots allegedly don't like nutritious soil, they want to go searching. And then I've basically scattered some seeds over the top, put another little bit of like multi-purpose compost on the top, and then I've got some greenhouse glass. So I've left it down sort of 3-4 inches from the top of the tub, so that when I water it, I can put the glass on the top, and obviously it keeps it warmer in there, so it's going to help it germinate because it's warmer. It keeps the moisture in, which
It's
is
like a little mini
yeah,
greenhouse,
it's like a
isn't
little
it?
mini greenhouse essentially, yeah, and it's like a little humidity dome basically. And then obviously once they all germinate and they sprout, I'll thin them out so that they're sort of like, I don't know, an inch or so apart.
Was that an
And
Aussie?
I don't know what it was, a little bug.
There's one there.
Till
Look.
it's like an inch or so apart, and then that's it then. So, and then I've ended up with this. So if you can see these, you can see all the little shoots and all the little stems, and they're a good distance apart. Obviously the carrot can go quite long, so I'm hoping that these are going to be really good. Now I pulled one out the other day just to see how it was doing. I'll see if I can pull one out from here, just so you can get a bit of an idea. Oh, I'm a bit reluctant to pull a good one, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you can see, like, obviously
That's
it's still
straight,
a
very
baby carrot, but
nice.
it's really nice and straight.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's way too early to be pulling it out. It probably needs another month in the ground, but yeah, I think that looks really promising. I was really happy with that. So yeah, so I'm assuming, it's providing I'm going to keep them watered, and they'll kind of take care of themselves. So these are nantes or nints or however the hell you say it, nantes. And these ones that I've done another bucket here, another 2 buckets down there, and they're Autumn King, I think, or Autumn King 2. So I'll keep you posted, because I thought that worked. I obviously did it here and it seemed to work really well. So I've done some more, and the same with the parsnips as well. If you put a lid on there, you can technically keep the slugs out as well while they're little tiny seedlings.
All watered.
Hello.
Let's go now.
Let's go. Let's go home. Let's go home. Come on, Loon.